What's up, YouTube? How is everybody? I hope good. Excuse my appearance, but I am actually going to go on a hike this morning, well, I guess this morning, after I'm done doing all my stuff. So I always wear a hat, so then I don't have to worry about my hair, obviously, and all that good stuff. Doesn't matter. Just so my hats, my hats that I have, I get them and I keep them forever. They fall apart, they get dirty. You get that hat that you like. So my last one I had to throw it away, which really sucked because that was my favorite hat. It just fit like a glove. It just felt perfect on my head. I have a big head, so this video today is just one that I have I guess, I don't know, that the universe brought to my attention last night and today, and it does it through, I get my messages in many different ways. I'm a very sensitive person. I feel everything. I mean, absolutely feel everything. And I get them through, other people's messages. I get them through music. And I just get them, I just know things. It's just like, I can't explain it, but I know when a person needs to hear from me. I know when a person is feeling down. I know when a person's going through stuff. And I know that a lot of people look at me to, kind of like I'm weird, but I'm really not. I'm just really connected to the divine. I'm a very, very sensitive person. I love everyone and I love very deeply. And the people they don't perceive that right either. So I guess I want to bring that to people's attention, especially people that are around me. People tend to take advantage of me, of my kind heart, of my love, and they act like I don't know that they're doing it. And the thing is I know. I mean, my knowing of things is incredible. So first off, don't think I'm not onto you, or or don't know what you're doing, because I do. But I do everything out of the kindness of my heart. I do it out of love, and I feel that unless somebody directly harms me or does anything to hurt me, then I am pretty open to helping everybody. That doesn't mean everybody start asking me for things, because I'm a single mom. I work hard for my money, and I don't have very much money. I unfortunately lost it all. Somebody took it all. Somebody took advantage of me and took all my money. So I mean, I struggle, but I just want to be myself today instead of doing the videos I've been doing, because I believe that's really what I'm supposed to be doing here. But it's taken me a while to adjust and to figure out what exactly the universe is wanting me to talk about. But I was watching a video on YouTube. It was an American Idol video, and it was with this young man that he came from a different country, and he lived in Kansas, and he grew up singing and playing a guitar because his mom bought him a guitar when he was young. And he moved to Kansas, and he kind of found he liked country and, like, the bluegrass type music, and he sang, and it just like blew me away. He was so amazingly good. And it just made me really think about, us as, adults, and, even as children, even as, teenagers. We all have that one thing that we're just so good at, that we love, we want to do. We want, as a kid, before society and before everything changes, who we are and what we should be and what we shouldn't be, and what we need to be liked, and for people to respect us and all that good stuff. We have a dream. We have something that we want to do. You know, uh, like, if you're an artist, you want to be an artist when you grow up. If you're into, music, if you're a singer, or you play the drums, or you're a guitar player, and so on. There's just so many talents out there that people do not project out into the world, because they've been told one thing. They've been told that you need to go get a 9 to 5 job. You need to make all this money to have this big house, and pretty much to be in debt is what that comes down to. So then you're making all this money, you're paying all these bills to have the things you have. Sure, you have a nice house. That's great. You have a nice car. Well, that's great too. You have a boat, you have a skidoo, or whatever, whatever it is that you desire to have. Um, but the thing is most people, do not like their job. Most people go to work because they have to. Most people wake up in the morning and they're like, fuck, I got to go. Oh God, I don't want to get up in the morning. I fucking hate it. And, um, and I know that that's what society has told us we needed to do. The thing is that, throughout all the stuff I've gone through in my life and all the experiences that I've gone through, and then all of the lessons I've learned and knowledge and wisdom I've gained throughout all this, and all of the time I've been spending a lot of time alone, and people think I'm weird because of that. And I don't care what people think, to be honest. I'm who I am. I like who I am. And I don't bother anybody. I don't hurt anyone. So I don't know why people can't just leave me alone, honestly. But I have found that, from self-love, I'm gaining self-love. I'm gaining self-respect. That this life is short. We're here to serve a purpose, and it isn't a 9 to 5 job. I'm sorry. I mean, if that's the career that you chose, if you're a lawyer, well, that's probably was your dream. So yeah, there are people that do that is their dream as a kid. I want to be a doctor. Well, then they're a doctor, or. So, but there are, like, the people I'm like addressing today are the people that are so unhappy. They're just, they work at I'm just going to use this as an example. Say you work in an office, full of people gossiping and drama, and you're doing the same fucking job every day over and over and over and over. But the job, you make decent money, you have medical, you have a retirement plan, and so on. Okay. Well, the thing is that even a person that doesn't have a 9 to 5 job, that doesn't work for a corporation or the state or whoever, can still have all those things. It's all possible. Everything that you want is possible. Anything you put your mind to is possible. So before, like, it's going on 6 years, and I went through a really traumatic thing in my life. I was married, and I owned a business, and my business was really going really good, and I thought I had this perfect life, and perfect family, and perfect, so on. Well, I must have thought it was too perfect, because all of a sudden the universe hit a tower, slapped a tower down on me, and it all crumbled. It all just crumbled in like minutes. And I lost everything. I lost my husband. I lost my business. I lost, the people that I perceived to be my friends, my life, just everything crumbled. I lost everything. I found myself with a moving truck with all my shit in it, and I was standing in the middle of a street like, now what the fuck? I'm broke. I don't have no money. I have all my stuff in this moving truck. I felt pushed out of the town I lived in because people were judging and, gossiping and, whatever else about me. So I remember standing there, and I remember thinking to myself, there is no God. If there is a God, how the fuck would he ever allow this to happen? How would he take this all from me? And why? What have I done to deserve it? I haven't done anything. I kept thinking that, and over and over and over. And the thing is I did do something to deserve it, because it happened. And that's karma. Karma hits you when you're not living a life that the universe obviously thinks that you should, or you're not doing the things that the universe thinks you should. Such as, everything was about me. It was like, it's my business. I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. I wasn't looking around to see what everybody else was doing. Sure, the person I was with, they made their mistakes, but so did I. And I can't fully blame that person for everything that happened to me, because honestly, I put myself in those, in that spot. I put myself in the position for the tower to hit. I made the choices. I. But this is different than like my last video I did on karma, and it's I. We're supposed to lose that I. But the thing is I'm not ashamed to admit my faults. I'm not ashamed to admit when I fuck up. I'm not ashamed to admit that, I have addictions, and, I'm not ashamed to be the person I'm supposed to be, because the person I'm supposed to be is to be open and honest and, forthcoming, and to show people that there's nothing wrong with being who you are, who God created us to be. It's not a bad thing to speak out and to speak truth and not worry about Joe Blow over here or Jill down the street, what the fuck they care, think of you. Because all that matters is what you think of yourself and the higher above. And that, people say, you're so selfish. I am beyond a selfish person. Beyond. I need to be more selfish. I've given my whole life and did the things that my family expected, that everybody around me expected. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm living my own fucking life. And if people don't like it, I don't fucking care. I don't care. You can talk about me. You can gossip. You can think I'm fucking weird. You can think whatever. But you know what? I've came, to terms with myself, and I'm at peace with myself, and I'm at peace with God. I have more faith in God than I ever have my entire life. I was not really well, we went to church, but that's, I don't know. That isn't having faith, like 100% faith and love for God at all. That's just somebody else telling you how you perceive and how you should think about and how you should live your life. That's just another person controlling you. We're not here to be controlled. We're not here for somebody, your spouse or your friends or society or religious group or anyone to control you. You're here to live free. You're here to do the things that you are supposed to do while you're living on this earth. And people cannot seem to understand that. And that's why people perceive me as weird. I am a free spirit because I am not going to live under anyone's thumb. I'm not going to have anybody tell me what I can and can't do because it's my fucking life. I can do whatever I want. If I want to sleep till noon, I'll sleep till fucking noon. And that's where my point is going. After all this happened to me, it took me years and years. I was so depressed. I was so down on myself. And I was allowing all these people in society and all these, hateful, just ridiculous people to decide my fate, to decide who I was going to be. If I was going to hide from the world or if I was, going to walk down the street with my head held high or if I was going to look at the ground or worry about what they were saying about me this week or I don't give a fuck. And that's, I want people to know, I don't care what you think of me because it doesn't fucking matter. It does not determine my life or it shouldn't determine anyone else's life. What matters is my family, and my family consists of my daughter because my family all abandoned me when all this was happening too. They all decided that I was crazy and whatever else. Well, people don't, you have no right to tell somebody they're crazy. You don't have no right to tell somebody that there's something wrong with them because you have no fucking clue what's going on with them. Only the higher above knows what's going on with that person. And I'll tell you, I can prove over and over again, I'm probably one of the most sane people you know. And I'm sure that you already know that, but you're just too afraid to admit it. But I decided, I'm like, after I came out of this funk and I moved away and I moved back with my folks and just my whole life started changing, the day that this man that I adored, whatever, he was gone. And so that day, from that day on, it's been one roller coaster. It went like way down, then it'd come up a little bit, and then it would go way down again, then it'd come up a little bit, way down. It was like I couldn't dig myself out of this freaking rut, and it just continued and continued and continued and continued. Well, I'm still continuing. I might not never get out of this rut. I might be stuck down here, but you know what? As long as I'm happy and as long as I feel good about myself, I don't care if I ever achieve up here. I want people to understand that. You don't have to be up top. You can be down here and still be happy. You can be down here and still live a decent life. You have money to pay your rent or your house payment, to pay your cars, to feed your family, to feed yourself, to go do the things that you want to go do. Why do you need more than that? I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have more. I'd love to be able to open the business I want to open and have a nonprofit organization that I want to do. But that's just not my life. But I'm not going to go work a 9-to-5 job for somebody else making them money when I can be making my own money and being happy, and I can work from my own home and do the things I love. And then when I decide, I want to go to a concert, well, I can just go. I don't have to go put in 4 weeks before and, ask for time off. No, I'm the boss of me, no one else. And that's what the way I like it. Some people need that structure. I don't. Um, the thing is that, I'm 43 and still have a huge list of things I want to do. I lost like almost 5 years of my life because I was worried about what people were saying and thinking about me. And, the thought of what was going on and about my past, and I had to prove it. I don't have to prove shit. The only person I have to prove to is myself. And it took me forever to realize that. And actually, to be honest, I just realized that. I spent all these years fighting to prove that I was innocent and that I wasn't the person people were perceiving me and making me out to be. And really, I don't need to prove anything to anyone because I know the truth and so does God. And that's all that, and my daughter, and that's all that matters. I'm not a perfect person. I'm far from perfect, nor do I want to be. Do I want to live this, uppity, snobbish life that you have to watch everything you say and everything you do and eat, and if you fucking decide to smoke a joint or drink a beer, or, are you going to be looked, down upon? No, because I don't give a shit. If I want to do those things, I'll do them. I mean, it's, whatever. People need to stop living for everybody else and live for themselves. We live in a world that is so unhappy and so miserable with their lives, but they stay in it because that's what your parents think you should, or your friends. Well, you know what? If they really truly love you, they'll be happy with whatever you do. You go out and make a mistake, you get a DUI. You go, you get caught with drugs, or maybe you go so far as robbing a bank, or you end up killing somebody. Those are mistakes that were written in the books. Those are things that you were supposed to do. Those are things that you're supposed to experience. But those aren't things that you should be ashamed of. Well, maybe I don't know about the killing. It just depends on that. People change. And that's another thing. People are being, we throw human beings into prison. Like, I'm not going to say animals because I don't even believe in that. It's not even human. You put them all in this building, lock them all behind bars because they do something wrong. Then, they're in there for, 5 months to 10, 20, 30 years. And then you let them out and you expect them to be different? No. How the fuck are they supposed to be different? You didn't do anything to help retrain their brains. You didn't do anything to help them, period. All you did was take away that time in their life. Well, once they walk out, they're going right straight back to where they were, picking up right where they left off because they don't know any better. This world is all backwards. And you know why they do? You know why we're doing that? It's because we're keeping the corrupt people out of prison so they could do whatever the fuck they want, and they're running this world. And also because it creates revenue, it creates money. We need to maybe legalize marijuana in Wyoming and grasp the thought that how much money it makes, but they don't want to do that because they want to be able to arrest people for buying it or for having a pipe that has marijuana in it. That's ridiculous. This world, we should all be fighting. In this state of Wyoming, we should all be fighting and, picketing and doing whatever it takes to have that legalized here. It is proven to help people that are sick. We don't hear about people getting stoned on marijuana and going out and drinking and, or driving and killing people or killing themselves or getting DUIs, even though now they do that, which is bullshit. It's just another way to make money. And we don't hear about people getting stoned and going and killing their whole fucking family and shit. And really, when people do that, they blame it on drugs or alcohol. That isn't, they need to really research that shit. That is common sense to me. Anybody can go do drugs. It doesn't mean that everybody that does drugs is a piece of shit. Or they're just, worthless. They just sit home and do drugs all day and they're not, productive in our society. They don't have anything, because there are judges that frickin' snort cocaine. There are doctors, there are lawyers that do methamphetamines. Every walks of life do it. Some people just hide it better than others. And that's another thing. We need to stop focusing on stuff like that and focus on the real root of the problems in this world, which is people are unhappy. People are are like being ran by secret societies or by religion or by, you're 43 years old and your parents are still telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Who the hell are they? They already raised us. When we become an adult, they no longer have a say in what we do. Society should not be telling a person, you need to be like this to fit in. You need to be skinny. You need to be, tall and thin, and you can't be different. You can't be your unique self, because otherwise everybody perceives you as weird, or you stand out in a crowd. Well, like me, I want to stand out in a crowd. I don't want to look like Jane and Jill down the street. That's not who I am. I dress and I look the way I am, and that's how I feel. And if people don't like it, who gives a fuck? I'm not here to impress them. I'm not here to look like your mother. I'm here to look like me. I'm actually someone's mom, and that's who I want to be. And I look the way I look because that's the way I feel. And that's the way everybody, if you are, you're still in the closet and you're, gay, stop doing that. If your family doesn't accept you or your friends, then they never loved you in the first place, because they should accept you any way and every way that you are. It's time for everybody to stop worrying and stop doing everything that society expects us to. And I'm not saying go be a piece of shit whatsoever. I'm not saying go, rob stores and, do all this stuff because we should just forgive you. No, you should be living whatever way makes you happy. If it is not working, if it is living in a shack, if it's being homeless, more power to you. More power to you. Whatever you want. If it's, you want to be a stripper, go be a stripper. You got to, condone those women. People look at them like they're horrible people. Bullshit, man. They are good at what they do. We are all good at what we do. As long as we do everything with pure and unconditional love in our hearts, and we are, we're kind and we're generous and we're, giving, and we don't just always think about ourselves. But we strive to make ourselves happy. We strive to, have self-love. We look in the mirror and we're like, man, I look fucking good today. And you might be the ugliest person in the world, but you know what? If you have that self-confidence, you have that self-love, you're not gonna be ugly to anyone. What makes people ugly is their egos, their judgments, their, everything that is what we're not supposed to do. And don't get me wrong, we all do it. And that's where we need to retrain our brains. We need to retrain our brains that we don't just look at somebody and be like, oh my God, what the fuck are they thinking? Look at her in that. She's too fat. Or, you know what? Who are we to even say that? She might feel good in that. And why should we look at her like that? We're not perfect. I mean, I'm like 5'1". I got, I'm a built person. I've always been really like built and, whatever. But I have this little belly thing going on, and it's like, matter of fact, I researched it this morning, and it's like, because I had a hysterectomy when I was 28, and it's because my hormones aren't working, and that's where I carry my fat, my extra fat. Well, it's, it's part of me, but I have had people like point it out, and I'm like, you know what, motherfucker, who are you to say that I need to not have that? How do you know that I don't work out every day and it just won't go away? Because that is possible. I don't work out every day. I mean, I'm a very active person, but I'm not one to go sit in the gym every day because I'm too busy. But, who cares? As long as I feel good, and I think I look pretty damn good. So I'm like, well, whatever, maybe that's not your cup of tea. I also, when I had a kid at 28, I had a 9-pound baby. Well, I'm 5'1". At the time, I think the whole time I was pregnant, I think I got up to like 150 pounds. So that shows how tiny I was. So, yeah, unless I can afford surgery to go have it all, tucked and prodded away, I'm going to have it. It's going to be there because, my kid was enormous. She was huge. And, and she's, like, you stand side by side, she's she's just a big girl. And I'm not saying fat-wise, she's just a big girl. She's big bone like me, and she's tall, and, it's just, we don't even look, besides we look alike, but everything else, you wouldn't even know that, because I'm short as hell. So, well, anyways, the whole point of this video is just to, really motivate people to really say, if you need to do what makes you happy. You need to be the person that makes, that you're supposed to be. Because honestly, when you're not, that's when karma hits also. Karma, the universe created us all to be these people that we are. He didn't create us all to look the same. He didn't create us all to think the same, to do the same thing. We're not supposed to. We're supposed to be friends with people that we connect with. Not because that's what society, those are the type of people that society expects us to be friends with, even though we don't fucking like them, or, that we have nothing in common with them, but we pretend to. We all need to take our masks off and start living. Because like I said, this life is too short. But the thing is when you don't take that mask off and you live this way, your next lifetime, you're going to have to relive this whole life all over again. Until you learn the lessons that you are supposed to learn, until you accept you for who you are, and you strive for what you want and no one else, then that's where, you're going to, then you can kind of maybe move on and be reincarnated into something else. But people don't realize that. And some people don't believe in it. I'm like, well, whatever. This is what I believe. And when I say that, strive for what you want, that doesn't mean I'm telling you to leave your wife and go sleep with, every woman in the world and, and break all their hearts and be a player and all that stuff. People like that, they're only covering up their hurt, or, they're afraid of a commitment, or they're, whatever it is that makes them that way. Sure, when you're young and you're, that mindset's okay. But when you're an adult, you need to act like an adult, though. You need to have responsibility. You need to have care for other people's feelings. You need to worry about, hurting somebody else. And not, I'm not just saying just be this selfish prick or, bitch that walks around just like, well, whatever, I love me and I don't give a shit about no one. And that's not the way I am. And that's not the way what I'm trying to say here. You still, like I said, you do everything with pure love, pure unconditional love, respect, kindness, generosity. You don't just, it's not this ego. You set your ego aside and you live this way. But you still have the care of other people. If you're not happy and say you're in your marriage, you tell that person, I am not happy. Let's try and make this work. Let's try this. If it's still not working, you don't stay with somebody because of that. You don't stay because society tells you this is what's proper. Are you worried about people being upset because you're not happy? They're not living your life. You are. They cannot make you happy. If that person is not treating you well, if that person, you just lost, you just don't love them, you need to tell them, because you know what? Then you will be rewarded, and so will that other person. After all the hurt, after you heal, because it's very painful, will be rewarded with the person that that maybe you're meant to be with. I mean, it might take a whole lifetime. It may take 10 lifetimes to find that right person. But if you do find that right person, don't let them go. If you know deep down in your heart and soul and mind that is your person, I suggest that you go for that person, because you might not ever have that opportunity again. And that person isn't going to just sit around and wait for you. I mean, sure, they might a little bit, but, whatever that, it's to each is their own, each person. But there's always somebody else too, because there's more than, just you and them, or, whomever that you are supposed to be with. You have many of soulmates. I mean, and most people they'll be lucky to meet one in their lifetime. So I just, this is like a motivational type, like, get out there and do what you want and, just strive, go straight forward, don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to be unique. Don't be afraid to look at your job and be like, I hate this fucking job. I'm done. I mean, because even though you might quit that job and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. How am I going to pay my bills? And so on and so on. You know what? Have faith, because, as long as you have faith, and you're doing something that is going to better your life and make yourself happier and not be stressed and just be so just miserable, the universe will step in and help you, and it will help you, succeed. We'll help you pay your bills. We'll help you find that job. We'll help you create that business or find that right person, or, whatever it is. Just have faith. So anyways, I was going to say, with me, I went up and down, whatever, but I love to paint and create things. And I'm also very psychic, which, if you know me personally, people are starting to figure out, I think. And I'm supposed to, my purpose here on earth is to spread love and the word of love, and, to have like these messages go out to the world, to, speak, to people that need to hear it. And people are like, she thinks she knows it all. And, people, and I don't care. I mean, you can talk to God about that. And I'm sure God will tell you the same thing. Fuck off. I didn't pick you or choose you to do this. I chose her. And people, oh, I don't believe in God. There's no God. There's no nothing. Well, you better start, because I'm telling you there is. And I'm not trying to be like, tell people about religion. I don't do religion. I do me. I do my connection with the universe and God, and the Mother Earth and the moons and the stars and the sun. That's me. I'm not talking like, Catholic or Mormon or whatever religion people believe in, because I truthfully do not believe in religions. And like I said, it's another thing that controls another human being. And again, we're not supposed to be controlled like that. We can worship God anywhere we are, anytime. You could be sitting on the shitter and, worship God. No offense, but I mean, that's an example. So, and people they look down upon people like me because they think that we're into the devil and all this stuff. I personally, I live in the light and dark. I actually communicate with both sides. Do I worship the devil? No. Do I worship God? Yes. That's me. I love him. I don't really so much worship anything. I love him. But then I will admit I love the dark side too, because I live it. I have to not lie. I have to not, say I don't live in the dark, because there's things I do that are considered dark and that are not considered from the higher above and to be right, or, but I'm not going to be ashamed of things I do or choices I make, because this is what society says. What it is, we're not supposed to live all the way up in here. Nobody ever is. None of us are perfect. We're never going to be all in the light. We're going to, if you maybe equal amount, or, however it fits your life is, that's the message also here. People, we're not perfect. So stop judging everybody. Stop, being a hypocrite and saying, oh God, did you hear Joe down the street got a DUI, but you drove home drunk last night? Well, you're just lucky. Or, oh my God, did you hear Jill down the streets in rehab, that you were out snorting cocaine all night last night? I mean, come on, people. We need to be real. We need to support each other. We need to stop making this world so fucking like stressful and so judgmental, and we need to start looking at corruption and all the shit that really needs to be focused on, instead of focusing on normal people that are not perfect. Normal people that like to go snort cocaine, they don't bother anybody, so let them go do it. What is it to you? Or, drinking and driving is, I don't want to be a hypocrite whatsoever, but I got a DUI and I had my kid in the car. I mean, but the thing is, did I learn from it? Well, fuck yeah. Have I done it since? No. I don't even hardly drink anymore since then. It really, hit me in a different, way. But do I sit and judge somebody because they got a DUI? No. I'm glad that they're okay. I'm glad nothing happened. And that's the end of it. I don't sit there and look for, oh my God, were they found guilty? Oh my God, they also had drugs on them. So who cares? I mean, that's their life. We need to stop worrying about everybody else. We need to live for ourselves. We need to worry about ourselves. We need to focus on ourselves and our loved ones and our life, and make it happy, and stop being so miserable. And, you go to the grocery store and somebody bumps into you and you're just like, what the fuck, man? Excuse you. And they just look at you like, fuck you, and I'm just like, that's what pisses me off. That's when I get mad. I'm like, you know what? You didn't have to be so goddamn rude. You need to, but, and I even try not to be like that, because I have a little fiery temper that can definitely I don't put up with shit, and I don't. I'm more calm and more, reserved, and I will kind of let things slide where I used to not. But I'm like, if you want to screw with me, you better know you're going to catch a wrath, because I'm not somebody that you're going to just stomp all over and treat like I don't matter, because you know what? I do matter. And so do you. And so does everybody else in this world. We need to focus on being better parents, teaching our children better things. Get them off their damn phones, get them away from the TVs. We need to teach them to be outside and, the fun, things that are not right here in their face and we need to start paying attention to what they watch, what they're looking up online, because sex is thrown in everyone's face nowadays. Porn, you can just look up porn. You don't even have to be of any age. They don't know. They could sit there and watch Pornhub and all that crap, and it's not a big deal. And then parents know, and they're like, it's not a big deal. Well, I'll tell you, like, I have a really good relationship with my daughter. I don't know everything well, I do, because, I mean, if I don't know it, I'm being told what she's being, doing. But the kids, they really get along with me. They're friends. They talk about openly about what goes on, and I'm telling you, if you have a teenage daughter, more than likely she's sending nude pictures to boys. I mean, and my daughter, including, I mean, you have to really stay on top of that. No matter if you think they're goody two shoe or not, those boys that's what they're wanting from your daughters, or vice versa. It could be the other way around. Those kids are sending nude pictures. I told my daughter one time, I go, your boobs haven't even developed. Why would you send a picture of your boobs? I'm like, I know at that age, my boobs look like two little, like, rocket, like, ugly, saggy things. I was like, oh my God, is this really the way my boobs are going to look the rest of my life? I was like, I don't want anybody to ever see them. And I sure in the heck wouldn't send, pictures of that. But, we're teaching our children that because that's how we're living. Sex on TV, everything's about sex, sex, sex. Well, nobody even appreciates really what sex is. Nobody, like, has any, like, appreciates. They don't respect it. Nobody respects it. It's all just a free for all. And, that's not the way it's supposed to be. I'm not saying that you have to be committed to one person and only be with that one person. If you all decide to go sleep with everybody, that's fine. But we need to respect it more, because, our bodies and, the intimacy of sex is different than what we are putting out into the world, what people are perceiving it as. You have intimacy with somebody, you're actually sharing your energy. And that's really profound. That's really, like, important, and it's not something that you lightly do with everyone. And this took me a long time to realize. I mean, it really did. And it took a lot of self-love and a lot of self-respect for me to perceive this and to understand that and to respect it and to, so I'm not saying I've always been, Miss Chastity belt, because no, I haven't. But, in the older I get and the more experience I have, I kind of am. I'm like, well, don't even go that far. I know what I want. I know what I am striving for. I know the person that I want, and that's who I'm going for. I have plenty of opportunities to date. I have plenty of opportunities to have sex, but I decide that I don't want to. So in return, I get called a lesbian, and nothing against lesbians. More power to you. But, I'm not one. And if I was, I'd be more unhappy and more proud to tell you. Or I'm just like some snooty bitch that thinks I'm better than anybody and all this other crap. No, I just don't want to sleep with you. I don't find you I might find you attractive, but I'm not attracted to you in that way. So, I mean, there's just a lot that can really make a person and make you a person. But you know what? We need to start making us the people that we want to be, that we respect, that we desire to be. Then we can go for the things that we want. Me, I get up